Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 3. This is JC again.
And I'm Fabi, of course.
Special guest today.
This is Tremonte. Y'all know who I am. Wave Report, Tremonte and Friends. I'm on another podcast, man. I'm ready.
So let's get right to it then. Fabi told me you were part of a podcast. You just told me you were on it for like a year or something. Tell us a little bit about that. How was that?
Yeah, man, I was doing a Wave Report. Shout out to Joe, shout out to Jonah and all the guests. We ran it for like 3 years straight. I branched off to do Tremonte and Friends for like a year and a half. So it was a fun experience. It's a lot. It's tough to do, like drop episodes every week consistently, and then have quality guests and have topics and all that stuff playing around like your personal life and all that, man, during the pandemic. It was pretty tough, but it's worthwhile though. Yeah.
For sure. Do you want to ask anything right away?
Yeah, actually, what inspired you to start a podcast?
I love conversations with people, man. I think when you sit down and have conversations with people, you get the best out of them. Similar to how we just be talking in the barbershop. Those barbershop conversations where it's just free. There are no limitations. You can say what you want and not be judged. And I think a lot of what's wrong with the world is people feel like they have to put on these facades and these masks instead of just being their true, authentic selves and just speaking their truth. So that's what inspired us to start the podcast. We were wild, and then we had some serious moments too, because a lot was going on with like injustices around the country and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what inspired me. What inspired y'all?
Let's go. This guy, he's ready. He got the experience. What inspired me, man? Just like you said, just being authentic, being ourselves, talking to people, getting to know other people, hearing people's stories. Like most people, they want to get like the next biggest star, bro. I really honestly don't care about that. I want to bring in regular, everyday people, hear about your story, hear about your upbringing, your upcoming, because everybody went through struggles, man.
That's real.
Everybody went through struggles.
That's true.
You know, like everybody might look happy, but you don't know what they did to get to where they're at now. You know what I mean? So to me, that's my inspiration. Just everybody telling their story.
Yeah, that's real.
Yes.
What about you?
And man, you know me. I love conversation, man. I'm right with you. So that's why I do what I do as well. Not just, making people feel good with a haircut, but also everybody's conversation and everybody's backstory of where they came from. Everybody's very different. Like you might do the same career as somebody else, but how they got there is going to be way different than how you got there,
That's true.
So I just love people. I love conversation, and I love different backgrounds, different cultures.
I don't know how much in depth you want to go about your story, your upbringing, but do you want to touch on that a little bit? What you do now, where you came from?
Yeah, man. I grew up in the hood. Was poor like most people. Didn't have a lot of money or resources. My mom did the best she could, raised me and my sister. It's nothing to glorify. There's a hood everywhere. Most of us grow up with no money, little to no money, and our parents or our guardians do the best they can, to raise us. Nobody in my family went to college. I was the first person in my family to go to college. Nobody in my family made a lot of money, legally. You know what I mean? But my mom always pushed me to be better than that. She's seen our circumstances. She's seen where we're from. And she always seen that me and my sister can be more. So she pushed us. Sometimes I think she pushed us a little too hard. Because sometimes when you push people, you can push them to the edge. So you don't want to push them too far. But as I grew older, I understood why she was doing it. She wanted us to be the best that we could possibly be. So grew up in the hood. Made a lot of mistakes, man. There is no success without failure. Made a lot of mistakes throughout my life. I didn't go to school early. I went to the Navy. I got kicked out of the Navy. I don't even think Fabi know that. I got kicked out of the Navy. Had altercations. I was stealing. I was doing a bunch of stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But that was probably the best thing that happened to me, because I'm not really good in groups. I'm not a follower. I'm like, I'm an original thinker. I like to, move to my own drum, so to speak. But I learned a lot about being disciplined there and being accountable for yourself. And throughout life, something I could share with everybody. You have to depend on God and depend on the gifts that He gave you. Leaning on other people sometimes isn't the best thing, because people are going to disappoint you. You know what I mean? You got to really, you got to pray, and you got to stick to. Things are going to get tough in life, inevitably. Things are going to get tough. Things are not smooth, you know what I mean? But you have to stick it out. and not give up on yourself. Because people always say, you know, you only get one mom, but you only get one you. It's only one you, and you want to maximize it, you know, to the best you can. So where I'm at today, I'm a recruiter. You know, I work for a company. I'm not going to say, but I work for a company. I'm a recruiter. Eventually, I'm going to get my PhD because I want to be a professor. Got my master's degree last year. But all of that, I can curse on here?
Yeah, for sure.
No, all that shit don't really mean nothing, man, if you're not treating people well. I'm gonna be honest, man. No matter how much money you make, no matter what you have, if you're not treating people well, you're not loving people the best that you can, you ain't shit. That's what I'm gonna say, man. You ain't being like a real human being, because none of us leave with the stuff we have. You know what I mean? So
for sure, I wanna read something real quick. I actually saw it today on Facebook.
Yeah,
I'll
read
read
it,
it,
man.
Facebook, man. It's actually really interesting. Give me one sec. Okay, so it says, give $600 to a poor person and it's gone in a week. Give $600 to a rich person and it's multiplied 10 times in a few years or less. Someone says this. Now someone else answers, let me fix that for you. Give $600 to someone with no money and they have no choice but to use it to survive.
right,
Give $600 to someone whose needs are already fully met and they can sit on it all they want.
that's true. That's true.
True, and that gave me goosebumps, bro, because it's a real struggle, man. Like, some people might see it a certain way, but, like, you don't know unless you're in that position, you're actually going through it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. What's some of the things that y'all have been through in y'all lives that have kind of defined y'all perspective on the world?
Ooh,
That's
a
really
great
good.
question. Man, this guy,
This
bro.
guy, hey, here's the podcast. It's yours. Go ahead.
All right. So for me, man, honestly, I've always been the black sheep in the family. I've always been the one that's living my life too quickly, or maybe I'm not good in school, so I'm gonna end up in the street. So that's always been on the back of my head to this day still. You know, I do a lot of things where it's questionable for them, but I always have a reason to why I do the stuff I do. But that also motivates me to keep going and to be better and prove them wrong. You know, at the end of the day, I know who I am, and I'm never gonna do something that's gonna hurt my family or myself. I've had a lot of struggles to be the person I am today, and I just try to upbring people in the barbershop. That's what inspires me, and that's what keeps me going.
That's a real answer. When you.
Not me. All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
So for me, basically, coming from a Spanish country, you know, coming to the U.S. for the American dream, you know, having to figure out life, honestly, not knowing English, not knowing anything, just like coming out here and forcing myself to learn the language, new culture, then working with my parents. My mom had a business for 10 years. I gave up a lot of my dreams. I'm still young, you know, I'm 26, but I put away my priorities to work with her to help her realize her dream, and her dream in reality was helping us make it through. Do you know what I mean? So it was a huge sacrifice, but absolutely it's worth it. A lot of people said, yo, like, why are you working with your mom? Like, you're not making much money, this and that. But bro, to me, seeing my mom smile and working by her side every day is what made me happy.
That's priceless, man.
Priceless, bro. Priceless. And then finally a year ago, my mom sold her business, so now I get to focus on what I want to do.
Yeah.
But that was my motivation, my inspiration, my reason for doing things, just helping her out, and I knew eventually I would figure myself out.
That's a good thing y'all said, because y'all come from a different place. How do y'all reconcile with seeing like how America is, where y'all are family oriented from where you're from? America isn't like that. Like you 18, you gotta leave the house. You can't. If you're 27 and you living with your mom, there's something wrong with that. How do y'all culture see that though? I mean, I think it's stupid that America's like that, because everybody falls on hard times, and who cares if you stay with your parents? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But how do y'all see it? Like, how does y'all culture view it?
Ooh, that's a good one too. I feel like for us it's very weird. Like, us making friends and all that has been difficult, I feel like, because that's a big part of who we are. Like, we're always with family, and like, because we're always with family, we've learned not to do certain things that maybe culturally is right here. And so morally, it's not right for us to do a lot of things that here, like, a lot of kids are doing like it's nothing, you know. So we do see it a little bit differently, but obviously, who are we to judge, you know? Obviously it's normal here in this country, and you know, people want to live, people want to do what they do, But yeah, I mean, it's hard to be in this country, not be in this country, but like kind of be a part or understand people, because like we're completely like different than the average person, you know. So yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, no, well, kind of what he's saying, I feel different than everyone else just because we were raised so differently. But definitely, like you said, I don't judge people, but it's definitely way different. I wish that certain morals were taught here that aren't taught here, that are back at home. For example, over there in school, they teach people how to, at early ages, how to cook.
Yeah.
They teach a man how to weld something, you know, how to do stuff that you need to do in everyday life.
Yeah.
That here in the education system, we don't have it at all.
Right.
And it's like, you see, at least like when it comes to like just a person being a human, there's people that can actually care, value friendships, relationships, whereas I feel like here people just go about their own, do their own thing. If you're with me to make money, or if I could use you, we're good. But if we don't have any benefit of our relationship, then there's nothing to it, you know what I mean? How do you feel about that being in the US?
I feel how y'all feel. I'm from here. I'm from Florida. Yeah, I feel it's counterproductive. I feel it's backwards, man. Especially with, you know, the using people. Like, it's like everything is like for someone else's benefit. You know, it's disingenuous, you know, in a way. Like, even making, like he said, making friends. You know, I grew up in a place where you don't really make friends easily. They trying to cheat you not to trust people. Like, everybody's gonna stab you in the back. And then as you grow older, you live with that in your mind, to not trust people. So imagine me, I'm married now. I've been married 7 years. Imagine you growing up in a place where like don't trust anybody, and then you try to get with and marry somebody. So I'm not even supposed to trust you. Like, why should I trust you? You know, that's scary, especially when you're trying to settle down with someone, or when you befriend people. Like, I didn't know Fabi a year ago, I would say. I didn't know Fabi.
Right.
I knew Philly. Philly said go to Fabi. Philly good people, is like my brother. So I'm like, if you give the word, I can kind of trust you. You know, if I be like my little brother, you know, when I see him. But it's still that, like, I don't know, like, how is he going to react? Like, he don't know me, I don't know him.
Right.
You know, there might be conflict. There might be, like, times he might have a bad day, I might have a bad day. You just never know. So that's how I feel about it in general. I just think the American way isn't really conducive to, like, the welfare of its people. And I think that's why we're in the place we are now. Like, most people don't trust the government. The government's supposed to lead us. Like, nobody trusts the government. Right. So that shows you, like, there's conflict, you know, with that. In that space with people, and then you don't even trust your neighbor. Like, it's all around, like, backwards, man. And I don't think it's supposed to be that way, honestly. I think we're all supposed to form, like, a big community. We're supposed to accept each other for who we are. We all come from different cultures, different walks of life, but we shouldn't judge each other. We can learn from each other. You know, that's how I genuinely feel in my heart. But sometimes I'm met with not aggression, but I'm met with people, they just don't understand the concept, whether it's at work or whether you're out just meeting people. They want to judge you. They want to judge where you're from. They want to, it's not even about like white people being racist. Sometimes it's your own people. They just, they don't know, they don't understand.
Right.
And going forward, I think that'll do more to harm us than good. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, you definitely nailed it. Like, everything you said is spot on. We live in a society where, unfortunately, people talk about other people for any reason, whether it's your color, what you're wearing, whatever. And it shouldn't be that way.
No.
It honestly shouldn't be that way.
No.
We should all help each other as a community. Like you said, be better. Learn the good things from each other. You know, like, yeah, Spanish people might be this, but also look how hardworking they are.
Yeah.
Or, like, it shouldn't be black people, white people, bro.
Yeah.
People.
That's how I feel, man. I feel like we should just be people. Unfortunately, with American history, it's been so much damage done that people feel like they can never trust, you know, people again. And one thing about God, I don't want to get religious, but one thing about God, because it's not about religion. You know, whatever you choose to believe, that's what you believe. I believe in God, man. One thing about God is I've done so much wrong and He's kept me here. You know, He's not kept me here for me to be selfish or narcissistic or arrogant or prideful. He kept me here so that, you know, I can spread peace and love to people. I think we all should. And you can see the difference when people are spreading hatred and people are spreading, being negative all the time. You don't want to be around those people. It's something, it messes with your spirit when it's not in good faith, so to speak. And that comes with like maturity though. When I was young, I was stupid, man. I was young, but that's how you are when you're young. You're just trying to find your way.
Right.
But y'all are much further than I was when I was y'all age. Y'all much further, man. Y'all have good head on y'all shoulders, and y'all have a vision for your life. I didn't have a vision till I was like in my late 20s, man. We could talk about, man, I didn't have a bank account till I was like 29. Like, I was like, I kept my money in the shoebox. Man, I was just like, you can ask my wife, man. I was fucked up, man. But, again, man, God kept me, and I so happened to change my ways. But I'm still learning, man. I'm no perfect than the next person.
No, and I mean, that's life, you learn every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no person, I don't care how old you are, you can tell me, this is how life is. Mm-hmm. No. We're all learning all the time.
Man. Absolutely.
That's all it is. Anything you want to say?
I actually want to ask you a question about as a society not trusting each other. Do you feel like that can be changed?
I feel like it can be changed by people like y'all, man, starting a podcast and getting different people. Like humble people like everyday people on here and talking about their lives, because people want to share their story. There's just not always an outlet or a platform for people to do so. And the fact that y'all are inviting people, because this is y'all home. It's not like y'all got a studio set up somewhere. Y'all inviting people, so that shows that y'all are trusting. Right. Going back to me, like, people don't trust people, but y'all trust people enough to come to where you live and talk about their lives. I think that's a good way to start changing the world. And if you change one person's life, you change the world. You're not gonna change the world like overnight. It's just gonna be a bunch of people believing one thing, but you change somebody's world. And that's more important, because then when I leave here, I can be like, man, I went to Fabi and his brother's cribs. They were cool people. Y'all should stop by. And you spread things that way. If Fabi was negative, I wouldn't be here. All right, man, I'm not coming, man. I was like, nah, I ain't coming. But y'all cool, man. I think platforms like this and y'all being down to earth and y'all just giving people a safe space to speak and wild out and stuff like that, especially during a time where we're kind of like on the back end of a pandemic, I think is definitely helpful, because people have a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress and a lot of uncertainty, and they're concerned about the future. So you need a space where you can just kick back and chill and talk. Yeah.
Appreciate that, man.
Thank y'all again, man, for having me on here, man.
No,
y'all good, man.
Thank you for coming, bro. Thank you for coming. The funny thing is, like, we don't have no experience in podcasts, man. We're just going with the flow. We're just having a conversation. Like, we're just going.
It's the best podcast. Yeah. Just go with the flow, man. Y'all got it.
Appreciate it. Yeah. But
y'all can talk wild. We've been talking deep, because I'm wild.
No, I like Hey, what you drinking?
It's like a margarita mix in here. My wife had it in the crib. I'm like, man, I'm going to Fabi and his brother's house. I'm finna pour some. I'm gonna get lit before I come.
Hey, he was pre-gaming. He already took 7 of those.
I was smoking a cigar. I smoke cigars.
Yeah.
I don't smoke weed.
Okay. There you go.
Not all the time. But I was smoking a cigar too. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get lit, man, because they're gonna ask me some wild stuff. I'm ready though.
Oh man, that's hilarious. All right, you wanna ask me something wild? Go ahead.
Something wild, bro. I had a quick. Okay. Something wild? Are we going like sexual wild?
It don't matter to me.
Right.
I'm open.
Let me ask you something. Is sex an apology?
That's a good question, man. Nope. It's not an apology, man. No, not head, nothing. Nope. It's not an apology, man. You gotta apologize and change your ways. No, that's not an apology. Because we can have sex. What if the next day you still acting the same way? That's not. You ain't really changed, man. 100%. Then what's gonna happen? We just gonna keep having sex, thinking it's gonna fix things. It's not gonna fix anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. I got a question for y'all though.
Go ahead.
Would you tell someone if their sex was whack?
Honestly.
This man.
What would you do,
Bro? Not necessarily. I wouldn't say your sex is whack with those words. I'd be like, hey baby, let's spice it up a little bit. Let's spice it up a little bit. Let's try this. Let's try that. That's it. Me personally. How would you go about it?
I probably do the same. Unless like, I'm not a one night stand person either.
You're a relationship person?
I'm a relationship person, 100%.
He tried to get a wife at the strip club on the last episode.
Nah, I wasn't even like that.
My boy said, I just needed the right one, bro. Come on, man. You just get whatever.
Like, she's like, fine, like, you know, like, I want a dance from her. You know, I didn't feel like that, so she wasn't the one.
But how do you feel about that? You go to a strip club, you know, like, do you wait for the one, or you just kind of, she look good, like I'll get a lap dance? Like,
Yeah, I'll get a lap dance. She look good. I was in the strip club way too young, man. One of my brothers took me when I was like 15, 16, and I shouldn't have been in there, but they got me in.
nice.
I was like, man, I'm like, this wild. But I seen a dude in there. Ironically, a guy I was working with, he was in there in the corner. He was like cuffing a stripper. I'm like, she's a stripper, man. That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Right,
man.
That's
but yeah, it happened there. It happened in there, man. Strip club. But yeah, I just get a dance, man. I don't go to strip clubs no more, man. My wife will strip for me.
There you go. There you go.
That's all you need.
That's all you need, man. For real.
man.
That's all you need.
That's all.
Can y'all forgive cheating?
No.
No, that's a that's a no.
Hey, hold on, but
it's a wrap.
But what do you consider cheating though? Obviously, like having sex and stuff
For
like that.
sure.
But like,
Nah, it was like she goes and like they kiss. Come on, bro, that's cheating. If she's flirting with a dude in the DMs, she cheating.
that's cheating.
Yeah,
That's like breakup worthy,
yeah,
unforgivable.
unforgivable.
That's
Look,
fair.
listen,
Like you can talk with a guy being friends.
That's right.
That whatever, I don't mind it, whatever. But if you like, hey
She's sneaking
baby,
around?
yeah, nah, come on now.
man.
Me personally, what about you?
if you gotta hide it, it's cheating. That's straight up.
So do y'all think you should tell your significant other everything though?
Not everything.
Because I don't tell my wife everything. I'm sure she don't tell me everything. But I don't think everything needs to be like, if it's small and like not really like a big deal, like why am I telling you?
Right.
And I think you gotta know the other person's temperament. See, you look like somebody who will snap. So your wife probably shouldn't tell you like every look.
No, bro, no, I'm the most easygoing dude ever, bro.
That's okay.
Me and my girl have like the most, I wouldn't say open relationship in the sense of like
I know what you mean.
open-minded,
Yeah, I know what
but
you
like we could have a conversation about anything.
That's
Literally.
good,
So like
man.
when we met, bro, we talked about her past with her exes. I talked about my past with my exes. We know everything.
That's real.
And I don't mind telling her anything. Like if this girl approached me today, I'll be like, hey, this girl was looking at me, and she'll laugh about it. Like we'll just laugh about it. Like that's it. Even with her, because we worked at the restaurant together for some time, and at first I would get jealous when like guys would approach her or whatever. But out there, I was like, man, you know what? She's mine. She's not anyone else's. I trust her. She trusts me. Whatever. And then we just tell each other and we laugh about it. That's how we are.
Right, man.
But I know some people can't do that.
No. Some people can't do that. What about you?
Me, man, I feel like by hiding, I mean, like you gotta start deleting messages, deleting whatever. Like that's hiding. Cause I feel like same thing. If you talk to somebody, cause I'm a natural flirt.
Yeah.
I'd like sweet talk everybody. But I mean, I don't think that's major unless like you're calling somebody baby or mommy or whatever. It's like that's when it gets a little bit like, why, for what, you know? But nah, I think you should have trust with your partner to be able to tell them like, I talked to this person today, or somebody approached me today and we were talking. Like there shouldn't be an issue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think flirting is cheating. I think we all naturally flirt. Like if you have a personality, you're gonna flirt. But some people take it too far. You know, they use it to like their advantage.
Right. As long as you don't cross the line. Like if you call a girl like, hey, thank you, love. Like, you know, that's whatever. It's not really flirting. You're just being courteous.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
That's how I see it too.
Yeah.
That's how I see it too. Some people do like, it's different, man. I mean, cheating to me, I can forgive a lot of stuff, but if like, to me, like cheating, like that, if you're like giving like a lot of your time to somebody, of course, like the sexual stuff and all that, but if you like giving your time to somebody and then stuff I tell you in confidence, like you're telling somebody else, you're like going too far. You're like going too far, man. How long you been married?
I'm married 3 years, going on 4 this year.
Do you think marriage is for everybody?
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Without a
I
doubt.
don't think so either, man. I don't think so either.
Why
I don't
not?
think people, because I think, especially with social media, I think people like the idea of marriage, but I don't think, because you've been married, you know how it is.
You know what's actually so funny?
Yeah.
Me and my wife were having a conversation the other day, and it was just like, hey, do you think people nowadays are getting married because they love each other, or just to settle down? Just because of the thought of, hey, let's get married. You're a good person. I'm a good person. We're not gonna find anyone better. Let's get married.
That's some wisdom from your wife, man. She good.
Yeah.
And I think it's what she said. I think people just, they don't want to be alone. So they just want to settle down. It's not really because they really have a love and affection for the other person. Because you're going to argue. You're going to disagree. You're going to have bad days. And you factor all that stuff in with paying bills and kids. And do you really want to do this for like 40 years, the rest of your life? And most people, the answer is no. They just want to look good for the gram and take pictures and stuff like that. But that's not everyday life. You know what I mean? So I agree with your wife. I think people just trying to settle down now. Yeah.
Yeah.
She wise, man. Keep her around, man.
Yeah. Then when she asked me that, I'm like, yeah, no, we definitely settled down. We won't laugh at And they were like, no, I'm the real no. Because literally, that's another thing. I'm married now, of course, but if I wasn't, I would want someone to meet me when I'm like, not at my lowest, but at a point where I don't have it all. Right. You know what I mean? I want to grow with that person, go through the struggle together. Because anybody could have money and get whatever girl they want, but is that really real? You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think so. If I
I feel like that's the biggest thing for me, especially at my age now. Because, like, I feel like I'm at a decent spot, but I'm not at my peak yet. But also, like, I got a lot going on for myself. I'm already licensed, like a licensed barber. I've been in the barber shop for a year now. You know, I got a lot of potential as a person. Like, I got a lot of things to develop. But it's like, by the time I get there, mind you, I'm 21. I just turned 21. So I got a long way to go. And there's so much that I know that's going to be accomplished. Like, hopefully, you know, as if everything goes as planned and, you know, God gives me the strength to. But it's like, I don't want to find somebody when I'm already there. You know, I feel like I need to find somebody, like, around this time of my life so we can build it together. Because I feel like once you are wherever you want to be, people aren't going to appreciate you for who you are because they didn't see your struggle.
That's some good insight right there, man. You young, but you wise, man. That's some good insight. Nah, you right. People do have that perception of things, man. Especially when you get to, as you mentioned, like where you want to be. Women, specifically, they'll gravitate to, like, the end result. But they don't really know what you've been through. And like you mentioned, you don't want to meet somebody, like, on the tail end of, like, your success. You want to kind of grow with somebody so they can see what the mud is like. See you go through the mud, man, until you get yourself clean. And my wife was with me when I ain't have nothing. When we were dating, man, I was catching the bus. I was catching few buses to work, catching the bus to school. I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. And she been with me the whole time.
That's how you know she's real, too.
Yeah, man. So she get everything now. She get all the fruits of my labor.
Do you feel like us as a society, and maybe social media has influenced a lot of people to be very sexually, like, driven?
That's a good question, man. Yeah, because social media now is largely like a visual thing for people. Women and men. You know, people are pretty much naked on there. No matter the platform. It could be TikTok, Snapchat, IG, even Facebook. A lot of that stuff, and a lot of it's uncensored. I think it really hurts, like, the younger generation. We're adults, so we can, you know, decipher. But somebody who's 12 who got an IG or a Snapchat, they don't know what they're really saying. You know, and that can affect them psychologically as they grow. You're not really supposed to see stuff like that when you're that young. And then in your daily life, kids are having sex much earlier than we did. You know what I mean? Kids having sex. My wife is a teacher. Kids having sex at like 10, 11 years old. They doing like sexual things. And a lot of that is what they're exposed to on social media. If social media wasn't here, they would have to, like, see it in real life, or they would have to, like, see it on, like, a movie or something.
Right.
But I mean, you see it every day because so people live on social media every day. So I think it has affected. That's a good observation. I think it has affected all of us in a different way because we over sexualize everything. And you see those memes and those questions. When you're married, should you have sex all the time, or should you be having sex and all that stuff? And all that stuff, you know, permeates in our minds. It's, people hold on to that stuff, and then they base their relationships and their dating off of things like that. Like, oh, you don't give head, I'm not gonna get with you. Oh, you can't do this, or you do, like, and all that stuff. That shouldn't be the determining factor of a real healthy relationship. That should be added on to the important stuff. So yeah, I think social media. Man, don't get me started on social media.
Well, that's actually, we tell all our guests to bring in a topic, and we messaged you about it earlier. One of the topics you wanted to bring up was the good and bad of social media. So we are gonna get you started on social media.
Hold on. Before
Go
we
ahead.
get started on that, I got one more question. Clearly, none of us have kids yet.
Right.
But with that being said, raising your kid, what would you do different than the average person is doing now?
My kid wouldn't have social media until they're like a teenager, probably. I don't care how mad they get. I don't care how irate they get. A lot of kids have social media. They have tablets and cell phones way too early, in my opinion. My kid would not have that. Me and my wife talk about that type of stuff, man. My kid would not have. They would have it for educational purposes, because for school, obviously, you need some type of technological device. But social media, you're not having social media until you're like late junior high or you're in high school, where you can your brain's developed to the point where you're understanding everything you're seeing. Because our brains can't keep up with 1,000 posts a day with all these words and all these graphics. Your brain ain't designed to process stuff like that fast all the time. So my kid wouldn't have social media, dog. No. If I could go back, I wouldn't have social media.
Right.
Like, I would like wait, because it becomes addictive. People live on there. Y'all be on social media, right? I'm sure y'all know somebody. Y'all gotta say their name. They post 9-10 times a day. Like, this motherfucker, like, why are you on here all the time? But they don't know they're addicted.
Right.
It's like seeing like a crack addict. Studies show it's no different. Right. You can't tell somebody, hey, you're an addict. They don't know they're an addict.
Right.
And that's just, my kid's gonna have social media, man.
Absolutely.
Nah, man, hell no.
For sure. No, but it also comes to us as adults. A lot of us are so much involved in social media that what do we do in general? What do we do when we have kids? We just, here's a tablet. You watch your YouTube videos while I watch my social media. So if a baby, 1-year-old, 2-year-old is already with a tablet looking at stuff, what else are they gonna learn? If we don't put our social media to the side to dedicate the time to our kids, then what do you expect? You know, like, there's nothing else that can come out of that.
They're gonna mimic what you do. What would when you and your wife decide to have a kid? What do y'all? I'm sure y'all talked about it. Like, how do y'all plan to raise y'all kid in a world where social media is pretty much like that's life for a lot of people?
I mean, for us, we probably wouldn't even get them a phone until they're going to probably middle school.
Yeah, I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like, not a phone at all, just because elementary schools will communicate with you if anything happens.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't have my first phone until I was like in 7th grade. You know what I mean? So it's not a need. And also, I know it sounds old style, whatever you want to call it, but limit it. You're getting a plan with certain minutes, certain texts, certain internet. Like, that's how we were raised. And I think we turned out okay. You know? So that's what we would do, honestly.
Right. And not only that, like, even with video games, we had our limits. Like, we couldn't play anytime before 11 a.m. We couldn't play after 8 p.m. And that was it. We had like 1 hour a day, maybe an hour and a half too, and that was it. We had to play outside, we had to go talk to our friends or whatever, go ride your bike, and that was it.
And we play video games. We weren't allowed to play like shooting games and none of that. Like, our parents were strict, like old style. Like, we started playing Fortnite like when that came out, but even that's not much blood going on, not much violence, but that's how we were raised.
And even with toys, we never had a toy gun. How you see these kids, they have toy guns and they
point it at you. Like,
never had that.
Yeah.
It's not judging. I'm just saying we were raised way different, and that comes back to different culture. And coming here, I feel like people are more open. Here you go. You want a Nerf gun? Here you go. Have it. Shoot around, whatever. Which is totally fine. But to us, we're just. It's harder for us to get accustomed to that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
man. I agree, man. I agree, man. Social media has done so much. It's done a lot of good. I'm a fair person. It's done a lot of good to the world. You can connect with people from across the country, man. You can, especially when you're building a business, you're running a podcast. You can get so many people you never thought who would support you and help you reach whatever success that you want for yourself. On this other side of it, the kids always get hurt the most with social media, man. So much stuff they shouldn't be seeing way too early in their development for them to see it. And then for us as adults, man, so much of your time gets devoted to social media. You can get on like Instagram or whatever at 5 o'clock. You could look up, it'll be 10 o'clock at night. You done wasted so much time, man, that you could have dedicated to working out, reading, being with your spouse, being with your kids, going out to eat with somebody, or just interacting, or just being with yourself. You don't even have to do nothing, just being with yourself, being with your thoughts, reflecting on your day. And it's not like that anymore, man. People don't even have time to think about anything. And I could tell when I'm talking to people, because people don't really know shit.
Right.
Like, all you know is like pop culture, like who's dating who, and like gossip type shit.
Right.
But you don't know like what you want to do in your own life. You know, you following the trend of social media. You think you got to be rich by like 25 because social media says so. It's not real, man. It's not real. You got to move at your own pace, man.
For sure.
It's crazy because even me now, like, I barely have friends my age. Most of the people I talk to older. I know obviously you're older, and that's literally all my friendships. Like, even in barber school, my best friend was 32. Yeah, as kids, you know, like, it's crazy. And like, there's so much influence. Cause now even me, every time I wake up, first thing I do, Instagram, and it's like it's set in my mind already.
That's most people, man.
Right.
So you're not behind. You're not doing anything wrong. That's most people, man. How you feel about social media? Like, how it's affected like people in general?
Well, in general, like you said, it has pros and its cons. You know, cons, we talked about a lot of those. Pros, like you said, business, bro. Like, we live in an era where, you know, Draymond Green has his own podcast, basketball player. He calls it the new media. And what is it? Like, people are in front of the TV, you know, talking about any issue, anything they want to bring up. And we live in a world where analytics are very important. You know, like, whether it's just to hear people's opinions or to make money, like, you need to know about analytics. How many people view your stuff? How do people react to it? How do you get in the algorithm? Like, all that type of stuff. Same with me. I'm a victim of it. I wake up every morning. What do? I check my Instagram, see how many views I got on my video yesterday. Check how many views I got on my YouTube. Everything. You know what I mean? So, but it can also be good for promotion. Like you say, you promote your business, you promote friends around you, word of mouth. You know, you don't need to invest so much money in bigger companies, because you can just go on there, get your friends to share your stuff, and next thing you know, you got 5 people hitting you up for your work because they see it on social media. So I mean, that's pretty much how I feel about it.
Man.
I had a question. Why do you think us as a society are like that now? Do you feel like people crave more attention now? Do you feel like people need approval, or what do you think like makes us that way?
That's a good question, man. That's a real good question. I think people have grown accustomed to getting validation from other people that they don't know, and that's not good, like, long term. Validation is good when you're building something like a podcast and you're being creative. You have a small business and you're building from the ground up. You need people to say, hey, it's good, so other people will know that it's good. But I think on a personal level, if I post a pic and this random chick from New York like it, like, what does that really do for me? I don't know her. And I'm married, so, like, what does it really matter? You know what I mean? That type of validation you don't need. What people really need from, or aside from social media, and I think this is the reason why people go to social media, is because you don't get any validation and support in real life. Like, your own friends and family won't really support you like strangers will. So you subconsciously, you'll reach out to other people. Like, man, my own people don't really fuck with me, so let me see if somebody else will fuck with me. And usually other people will, because they don't know you, they don't feel entitled to you. You know what I mean? Like me coming on y'all podcast, I came on your podcast because I know Fabi, like, he always have good energy, he's positive, he's never negative. And you his brother, and he told me, like, man, I'm coming. Like, I don't have to think twice, right? But other people, I probably would, you know, think twice or 3 times.
No, and thank you again for coming.
Yeah, man, ain't no problem, man. Think about coming, because it's just, we live in a time where people don't have any, like, real self-confidence, so they get their confidence from other people, and that's dangerous, because what are you going to do when those people aren't there anymore? If social media shut down tomorrow, what will people do? People go crazy. People jump off buildings. They're like, man, this is my life, and it shouldn't be like that. But a lot of that is our fault as humans, because we should support each other more. That goes back to what you were talking about earlier with, like, a community, and we don't do it enough. So I have to reach out. If I see that my family don't really mess with me, If I start a podcast, my family's not sharing it. What am I naturally going to do? I'm going to reach out to people. Let me see if these people in this other country or this other state really mess with me like that. Right. And a lot of times they will. They're like, well, I don't know him, but he's doing something good. As you grow, sometimes your family feels entitled to your success. If y'all got big, you will feel obligated. Like, I got to take care of mom, I got to take care of uncle, But what if they never shared your stuff? Would you still feel obligated to do it? That's a real question. Like, what if they never really supported you? Would you still feel obligated to take care of them? Probably. I know they raised us, but when does it stop, though? If you give somebody $50,000 and they blow it, you gonna give them $50,000 again?
No, absolutely. No, absolutely not.
Well, those are questions that you ask because we'll never think. Like, you never know how successful you will be. Especially now, so you can go viral overnight and then you're there.
100%.
You know what I mean? Those are things we don't think about. So on one end, I think social media is good, like for that. But I think we've come to the point of being addicted or being on social media all the time because we don't have people in our everyday life, like people in our phone, that let us know how great we are and how good we're doing. So we feel like we have to go to social media for it.
No, that's all gold, bro. But and also I want to add to that. I think it's not just social media the problem. Social media is how each individual person reacts to social media. Why? Because some people, for example, I'm big in the basketball community, right? I follow them around, film, whatever, know a lot of the guys. So in the industry, bro, a lot of people started with 2,000 followers. Now they got 60,000, 100,000, and now they think they're the best thing out there. They're so stuck up, they'll barely look at you, they'll shake your hand looking away. And it's like, bro, why are a couple thousand, 100,000 followers that you don't even know make you react a certain way? Like, you're the same exact dude, bro.
Same exact
dude.
That's a good point.
So it is what it is, like I would like to think that I don't care how many followers I get, I'm always gonna be the same person. I don't know if that comes with the way I was raised, or maybe I just haven't been there, but I feel like at the end of the day, it comes to each individual person, how they react to popularity.
That's real, man. I agree 100%. I ain't got nothing to say. That's real.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We were just actually talking about that in the barbershop today with one of the barbers, because he was like, there's so many barber influencers out there that a haircut, bro, is like $150. So at that point, it's like you're the guy. But it's like, bro, even if you have 60 million followers, like, you can't forget where you came from. Yeah, never. You started from scratch just like everybody else did. You know what I'm saying? So why, when you're up there, start to act different, bro? Like, we all came from zero. You know?
Go ahead.
So it's crazy, bro. That same thing, a couple million followers or whatever, makes you act different. Why?
There's certain things as far as, like, for example, you mentioned pricing, right? Like, of course your pricing can go up just because you dedicate so much time, you have experience, you have exposure to certain people, certain connections that usually you wouldn't have. So it's okay for your price to go up. The problem is, like you said, when your attitude starts changing and you think you're better than everyone else. That's the problem.
Yep. Pride comes before the fall, man. You can never forget where you came from. And one thing I like about both of y'all, now that we're recording podcast, both of y'all keep referencing, like, staying true to yourself. So I think y'all will. Because a lot of people get lost in, like, fame and notoriety, man. And you see it. I be seeing it in people, man. I was like, this person will change if they got, like, a lot of money, a lot of followers.
Right.
But y'all not like that. And that's a testament to how y'all were raised, man. So y'all were raised pretty good, man.
Thank you, man. No, you as well, bro. Like, you shared a little bit about your background. So, I mean, dude, honestly, you seem to me, from what my brother told me, you're doing great too, bro. And you're a great person. I love the vibes, like, since we met a few hours ago, like an hour ago. Yeah. You're a great dude, bro. So keep up what you're doing. Keep being a great guy for your wife.
Try, man.
Keep being your wild self, but also being loving, dude.
Yeah, you need a balance. Man.
Himself, man. Yeah. Bro, like, all the great vibes. And I got his Instagram. He was wilding on Instagram. I was like, yo, that's real.
Yeah, that's funny. But yo, thank you for joining us, for real. Thank you. Shout yourself out, your Instagram, whatever social media you want to shout yourself. I know you hate it, but
hey, follow them on social media, man. Don't follow me, man. Follow them on social media. They doing great and positive things for the community. Starting a new podcast. I support it. I'm going to share it when it come out. I'm going to try to share every episode, or at least a clip, to get them some patronage, get some people going to their page, man. Follow them. Follow Fabi. Follow his brother. Don't follow me, man. Ain't nobody special, man. Follow God, man. Follow your intuition, man. Follow your vision. Chase your dreams, man. That's all I gotta say, man. Peace and love, always.
Hey, man, thank you so much, bro. Really appreciate you, Duns, and hope
man.
God brings all the blessings for you,
man.
and keep it up, keep grinding, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Keep being great, bro. It's all love. You already know.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate
For
y'all,
real.
man.
Appreciate you, bro. Pura vida.
Pura vida.
You don't have to say it. Try it.
Hold on, what is it again?
Pura vida.
Pura vida.
Hey.
Yeah.